Have you been wondering whatever happened to Jim Acosta? Well, he's back, and instead of getting owned by President Trump, this time he got owned by Republican Congressman Ralph Norman. Watch.
The last 3.5 years, we've had an invasion. He's opened it up, and guess what? I suspected this. It's for keeping Democrats in office. He's giving. Now, Jim, get this. He's giving Social
Wait a minute,
Security
Congressman. Are you saying that? What are you trying to say, that there's an invasion of migrants in this country, and the Democrats are doing this to get elected? Is that what you're saying? That's just not true.
No, it is true. Look it up. He's given Social Security numbers and driver's licenses. He's done it in New York. What do you call that? What else can you call that? Give me a term for it.
Sir, that is something that, it sounds like what you're doing when you say that is demonizing immigrants. When you say that they're coming into this country as part of some invasion to change the political calculus in this country, that's just not the case. There are lots of people who come into this country as immigrants end up voting Republican. I guess that doesn't add up.
Legally. They come into this country legally. You can term it however you want. They come into it legally. Never before have we opened our borders up to every country all across the globe, and we're going to stop it one way or another.
How are you going to lock down the border? How are you going to have better border protection if you shut down the government? I guess I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, what does make sense is and we're going to have to force, the public is going to have to force this Biden administration to let the Border Patrol agents do their job, to get the wall built, have designated points of entry. And this administration is just not doing it. They're doing it intentionally. And whether you agree with it or not, they're doing it for power. Why are they giving Social Security numbers?
What do you mean by that?
Why?
What does this say? They're intentionally doing what? Where's your evidence of this? Where's your proof of this? It just sounds like you're throwing rhetoric around with no basis in fact.
No. You can. Have you been to the border?
Of course I have.
Have you seen what's going on? The rapes, it's open. I mean, nobody can deny that.
The border is,
and they've got it's a crisis. Where?
I'll ask the question, sir. And the border is not open. That is something that is peddled as a talking point, but it's not true. There are fences, there are walls, there are Border Patrol agents who work on the border.
The 5+ million that have gotten into this country illegally is not a figment of our imagination. Ask the Border Patrol agents.
I'll ask the questions here, sir. I'll ask the question. What is that? I'll ask the questions here. He was more than happy to answer that question, too. Have you been to the border? Well, of course I've been to the border. Yeah, of course he's been to the border. We remember that fence, that wall that he's bragging about now. If I remember right, he chained himself to that fence in tears, screaming and crying that President Trump would dare to put up a barrier at our southern border to enhance national security and border security. Now he's saying, well, there's a wall. What's your problem? Of course the border's closed. I've seen the wall. He hates that wall. And by the way, speaking of Jim Acosta's hypocrisy on immigration, remember when he started reciting the poem that's carved into the base of the Statue of Liberty?
What you're proposing here, what the president's proposing here, does not sound like it's in keeping with American tradition when it comes to immigration. The Statue of Liberty says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. It doesn't say anything about speaking English or being able to be a computer programmer. Aren't you trying to change what it means to be an immigrant coming into this country? If you're telling them you have to speak English, can't people learn how to speak English when they get here?
Yeah, as if that poem is supposed to be our actual immigration policy. Well, remind me, where is that Statue of Liberty? It's in New York, isn't it? And last I checked in New York, the mayor of that city and the governor of that state, they've been pretty anti-immigration recently, haven't they?
When you come to New York, we're not going to have more hotel rooms. We don't have capacity. So we have to also message properly that we're at our limit.
The city is being destroyed by the migrant crisis.
So where's Jim Acosta with the poem? Where's Jim Acosta with the anger? Where's Jim Acosta? He's nowhere. He's just sitting in studio yelling at a congressman, claiming that the border's not open when, well, you can see it for yourself. That's a pretty open border right there.